The Roswell crash of 1947 is an event that will always be of interest to many. A fact about the bizarre incident which captivates the imaginations of people is the recovery and following press conference that showed the artifacts that were said to have been recovered from an alien craft. Amongst this debris were beams. These beams had strange symbols engraved on them. These symbols, or hieroglyphs, have been compared to those found in ancient Egypt, and they have been a hotly debated subject among UFO researchers. These, however, are not the only reported alien hieroglyphs. There have been similar symbols described from a number of different UFO incidents. The Rendlesham encounter is a famous British UFO sighting. This when a triangle-shaped alien craft was seen and was reported as having similar symbols imprinted on the metallic ship's surface, along with the discovery of a long-lost UFO in a British museum. Those who witnessed and recorded these symbols have been trying to decipher the meanings behind them. So what have they learned? And have they decoded an alien message? Let's take a look. Welcome to IF, videos on history and mystery. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you never miss a video again. Almost everyone, even those with the vaguest of interest in the subject of UFOs, has a little knowledge on what occurred back on the 8th of July 1947. On that fateful day, the Roswell Daily Record published its front page article with the now famous headline, "RAAF Captures Flying Saucer on Ranch in Roswell Region," birthing one of the biggest legends in ufology. Today, many ufologists consider the Roswell incident to be one of the most well-documented bodies of evidence that shows how the US government routinely covers up the existence of extraterrestrial life here on Earth. Others say that the whole thing is a fantasy based on an actual secret military project. On June 4th, 1947, a secret government program named Project Mogul launched. It saw a balloon carrying microphones designed to triangulate the location of Soviet atomic bomb tests. It would achieve this by monitoring the sound waves carried in the zones between the troposphere and the stratosphere at about 50,000 feet up. The test was not a success. The balloon was said to have crashed. This crash being the catalyst for the UFO story in Roswell, New Mexico. Matt Brazel, a local rancher, found mysterious debris in early July of the same year. Brazel told the local newspaper, the Roswell Daily Record, that he and his son spotted a burning light in the sky. They followed the path of the object and they found where it had made impact with the ground. There, they discovered a large area of bright wreckage made up of rubber strips, tin foil, and a rather tough paper, and some strange sticks. These sticks were said to be covered in strange markings. These markings would come to be known as the Roswell Hieroglyphs. What could these glyphs be and mean? The designs reportedly seen on the I-beams that Brazel found were recorded in a rendition of the original drawings made by Jesse Marcel in July of 1947. Who is Jesse Marcel? That's a whole other story. Jesse Marcel Jr. did handle debris from the 1947 crash of the said unidentified flying object near Roswell, New Mexico. His strange life is a topic that we could look into in another video. Let me know if you'd like to see that. So what do these symbols mean? A book named The Dancing Wu-Li Master, written by Gary Zukav, provides a basic introduction to quantum theory. Included in the pages are a series of illustrations from a classic textbook on quantum physics. This book, titled Modern College Physics by Dr. Harvey White. The book's diagrams represent the various forms taken by electron clouds in hydrogen atoms. There are diagrams which show a similarity in characteristics to these mysterious glyphs. One example are those of Milo Wolf. When taking the 10 figures drawn by Marcel and assigning them a number 1 to 10, you may notice a pattern form in the numbers. 1, 4 and 5 are very much like the electron cloud diagrams L1 and possibly M1. Number 8 is exactly like L2, and although they are not totally identical, possibly in a transitional stage, numbers 3 and 6 are similar to L3. Does this show there is a link between Marcel's I-beam recreation and these hydrogen diagrams? If so, what were quantum mechanical diagrams doing in the New Mexico desert in 1947? Could they be some type of engineering instructions, or maybe a warning like we see on earthly vehicles today? The Roswell UFO anomalous beams have been said to be a hoax. Debunkers claim it to be nothing more than cheap novelty tape used to stick the balloon together. This seems unlikely to me for two reasons. One, a well-funded black budget program like Project Mogul would use something from a local store in its construction. If the balloon was to go down, as many say it did, whoever found the debris could easily trace it. If this was to have happened over Russia, it would have not been difficult for them to trace and locate where the US was testing its secret projects. The second is the appearance of these glyphs at other UFO incidents. If these are secret government projects, has the small toy store at which the tape was purchased back in the 40s become a major supplier to governments of the world? If so, this tape must be something special. Gaff tape may be about to lose its crown. So what other reports do we have where these hieroglyphs have also been seen? A chilling message in a cigarette tin found at London Science Museum could be linked to Roswell. A UFO named the Silpho UFO has been discovered in the dust-filled archives of London's Science Museum. The strange artifact found hidden inside a small cigarette box. This minute UFO was discovered on Silpho Moor, North Yorkshire, way back in 1957, 10 years after the Roswell incident. The metal disc is reported to be 16 inches in diameter, weighs about 22 pounds, and is inscribed with hieroglyphs. These are similar to those I have just talked about, which were found at the Roswell crash site. Found within the Silpho UFO was a book of 17 thin copper sheets, each of these sheets covered in yet more strange hieroglyphs. Local man Philip Longbottom has made claim that the hieroglyphs have been translated into a 2,000-word alien message. An alien called Ulo wrote the text to warn that the Earth is under serious threat from nuclear weapons. The copper sheets contained the chilling message: "You will improve or disappear." These remains of a tiny alien craft were initially sent to the Natural History Museum in London anonymously back in the late 50s. This after reports of a bizarre late-night sighting of between 30 and 40 UFOs in the area. Experts said it was probably an elaborate hoax because they could find no evidence that the metal had come from somewhere else in our solar system, or that it had suffered damage from the high temperatures encountered upon entering the Earth's atmosphere. However, Air Chief Marshal Lord Dowding did believe the object was from the outer reaches of space. He personally examined the object in 1959 and said it was a real miniature UFO. Alien languages are something I've looked at before. You can catch that video linked above. We can make a comparison with our space activities. On March 2nd, 1972, Cape Kennedy Pioneer 10 was launched aboard an Atlas Centaur rocket destined for a 2-year mission to Jupiter. The probe still travels through space some 40 years later. On board is the famous gold-plated aluminum disc. This disc carrying a message from humanity to the deepest regions of the solar system. Critics say that the message on the plaque is too difficult to understand. They point to the fact that almost none of the human scientists shown the message were able to completely decipher its meaning. Extraterrestrial intelligences that do not share our common knowledge may find this message impossible to decipher. We do know how difficult something like this is. Here on this planet, the deciphering of the Egyptian hieroglyphs took centuries, so the revealing of a message hidden in the Roswell hieroglyphs would be almost impossible. Do you think we will ever know what is said in the glyphs from Roswell? Do you think the debunkers are correct and this is nothing more than patterned tape? Is there a commonality between the British UFO and the evidence found in New Mexico? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy what I do here on the channel, hit that subscribe button. You can catch the latest by searching weareif. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.